We're going to take a look at exponential smoothing. When I think of it, actually exponential smoothing is not that bad. Okay, I'm thinking of a different topic. And so I'm actually think I'm okay with this one. So a company that distributes health food products uses simple exponential smoothing. And they have a smoothing parameter of 0.37 to forecast the weekly demand for its brand of oat bran cereal. The most recent 8 weeks of demand are here for the product. To initialize the forecast, they use the first week to make the prediction for the second week, which is typical. They want us to give the forecast with each week, and then they want us to give the forecast with week 9. Note that the intermediate values have been computed for you. Do all calculations to at least 3 decimal places. All right, so let's take a look at the basic formula that goes with exponential smoothing. It looks a lot scarier than it actually is, and I really mean that. Like, I really mean that. It's meant to look scary, I think. I'm not quite sure. All right, so what you're trying to do with exponential smoothing is you're trying to make a forecast for what's considered to be time plus 1, which is you're trying to make a forecast for tomorrow using the data for today. And the way that they typically do it is you take what actually happened today, so you take what happened today plus, is it alpha times what happened today and 1 minus alpha times the other? Why won't they give me any formulas today? I'm not doing moving average. All right, I think I know the formula. I'm going to reach deep into my pocket. I believe it's alpha times what happened today plus 1 minus alpha times what we forecasted for today. Now, I could have alpha and 1 minus alpha wrong. Those might be flipped. Depends on what formula, but I believe it's alpha times. Okay, so what is alpha and 1 minus alpha? Alpha and 1 minus alpha are weights, and they're weights that add up to 100%. So I can either give this 20% chance, in which case if that's 20% chance, then this is 80. I can give this 40% chance, and this is 60. All I'm doing is making a weighted average of what happened today and what I forecasted to happen today. That's it. So I'm going to stick with my formula. They told us that alpha, the weight that they're using, is 0.37. So we can actually check the math really fast to see if that's what's actually happening. So they used some previous forecasts and they estimated them together to get this time period. This should actually be that here. So if I do my forecast for this of 702 would have equaled, let's say, 0.37 times what actually happened, which is 670. Plus 1 minus 0.37, because if there's a 37% chance it happened, then there is a 63% chance that it didn't happen, times what I forecasted to happen, which is 721. So let's try that in the calculator. I'll use the Alex calculator. Got you. I will not use the Alex calculator because it's not being nice to me today. So what we would do is we would say, okay, so I'm taking 0.37 times 670 as one side, plus 1 minus 0.37 is 0.63 times what actually happened. And I'll get 702.13. So that's where my 702.13 is coming from. Okay, so I took what I predicted to happen was given a weight, and what I was going to predict to happen was given a weight. So then if I want to predict what's going to happen next, I'm going to use the same type of formula. So in this case, I did 0.637 times the 670 plus what was forecasted to happen in the previous period. So for my next period, so this was for time period 2. So for time period 3, it's going to equal 0.37 times the 754, right, because that's y sub the time period, plus 1 minus 0.37 times what was predicted in the past period, which was the 702.30. Oh, okay, I have FT and YT actually backwards. I apologize for that. 702.13. So then we're going to take, okay, so it's alpha times my forecast. So it's going to take 0.37 times 754 on the left plus 0.63 times the 702.13, which give us 721.32. And then we would continue going. I take 0.37 times this plus 0.63 times this, and I would keep going down with my values. So we have to do it for week 8 and week 9 as well. Now, what we could also do once you actually get comfortable with what we were just trying is you could actually make it to see what's happening with the data. So we have time, we have demand, we have smoothed, and so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, which I don't really care about. We have our demand, which is 721, and all of the demand is actually given to us. So we have our 670, oops, we have 721, 670, 754, 697, 473, 390, 199, and 136. So those actually happened. That's what y sub t is. And the only one that I'd actually put in here is 721. So now if I wanted to predict this, I'm going to follow the exact formula that we just said. Our exact formula was that when I did this the first time, I took equals 0.37 times my 670 that happened in front plus 0.63, because remember 1 minus that, times what happened above me, which is 721. So I'm taking the 670 from here and the 721 from here. That's my 702.13. If I did my calculation right, then what should happen is not only do I get my 721.32, but it actually will fill in the rest of these numbers, and that's how you know that you did it right, in which case you can put your other numbers here as well. So your 309.95, and then you can pull it down one further and get your, hold on, that's a really big drop, but that came from 500. All right. For this product, to initialize the forecast, the company started with 721, fill in the smooth values associated with each week, and then give a forecast for week 9. Then do some intermediate values have been computed for you. Do all the calculations to 3 decimal places. So I'll double check my calculations to 3 decimal places. This should have been 3, 2, 1. So doing one where you actually put the weights in will help you to see what's happening. That was 952. And then the last calculation is 195.2699 or 0.2. Okay. So if you actually go through, yeah, because there's something missing. And that's the previous value. A company that distributes health food products uses simple exponential smoothing with 0.37. I got that part. The most recent 8 weeks of demand, number of boxes for this product are shown. To initialize the forecast, they use the first value of the demand series 721, middle association, and then give a forecast for week 9. Some of them may have been computed. You saw how low it was, so I was a little bit surprised by that. So I guess I would cheat and put 136 here, but I'm not sure why. 245.89. I feel like there's one more number that needs to be generated. 0.5899, 245. Yeah. I'm fine with everything else. I just don't know where the last calculation is coming from. So I'm okay with that. Oh, my bad. That makes sense. Okay, that makes more sense to me than what we were doing. And that is simply that this last value that you get here, okay, that makes more sense to me. The last value that you get is your prediction for the next week. That's my fault. I saw it, but I didn't see it. So they're just asking you what the number is that was in that box, and I should have copy pasted it. I apologize for trying to calculate something that wasn't there because it wasn't there.